Welcome to TribLIVE Radio at TribLIVE.com. Ken Laird, Guy Junker, Trib sports writer Chris Adamski along. We talk Penguins to start. 4-1 Guy in Minnesota. A season on the brink for Pittsburgh, of course. They're giving up a goal. Big trouble. They gave up one.
Well, I think that game was exactly what I was talking about yesterday, Ken, that one of the things about having a power play as successful as theirs is right now, I mean, if you have a good power play, in the upper 20s or something, that's one thing. When you're clicking on almost every other power play that you get, teams are scared to death to take penalties because the puck winds up in their net, and I thought Minnesota played a wimpy game for 2 periods, mostly because they were afraid to take a penalty.
Yeah, and from Pittsburgh's point of view, Chris, this was the best home team in the league going in Minnesota and the best 5-on-5 team in the league. Pittsburgh seemed to play a patient game. Wimpy and patient, I guess, could be sort of interchanged depending how you look at it. In this case, they got the turnovers, converted to goals. Did you like what you saw from Mike Johnston going on the road, hostile environment against a good, low-scoring team?
Indeed, and I'll to go a little bit, not answer your question, but in terms of the power play, that's what a good power play can do for you. It's not just converting on the power play. It's other teams are more afraid to take penalties. They're less aggressive against you. It kind of hurts. It can hurt their five. Well, no, listen, they're not going to keep a 40% power play. They're not going to end up, at the end of the season. But if you have right now it is that good. Okay, right now the numbers prove that out. You score in 11 seconds, you get a power play. Last night, it's that feud right now.
Weren't you waiting for them to do it again when they go on at the end of the period?
It's almost like
they got 17 seconds. Here comes another one.
Yeah, it's almost a disappointment now when they don't, which is just remarkable. And it's at that level right now where, it's going to regress, of course, and the number one power play in the league. But it's that step above now where it's putting that much fear in their opponents that they're literally changing their games in 5-on-5. Even when you have the best 5-on-5 team in the league, when you're playing, you sort of change your style and change the way you're playing. You're less aggressive. It affects everything. And also, as much as the criticism, the Penguins, their penalty kill on their power play has been so good, that means their 5-on-5 play has been ordinary to get to the point where they are. But, you also have to give credit to the team for drawing those penalties, and there's reasons why in a lot of cases they're drawing these penalties, whether it be illicit a lack of discipline from the opponents or just when you get some of those hooking, some of those obstruction penalties, it's because you are moving your feet and you're doing what you need to do to draw the penalties. So but to answer your question, Ken, overall, yes, I thought and the Penguins can afford to play that way now because the special teams are so good that they can kind of just wait it out and
pick your spots,
and just can kind of sit back and you figure you'll get a power play goal or two, and your penalty kill's been so good, even if you do have to kill a penalty, that you're going to win it. You're going to win a special teams game. So if you play close to the vest 5-on-5, that you're probably going to win the game right now if you're the Penguins.
Well, Guy, we talk a lot about how this team will look in the playoffs. I mean, we're become spoiled around here now, but it's 5 years of postseason failures. Last night was a third-line type of night. Can they count on Sutter, Downey, and Spaulding? I mean, who knows what that line will look like in 5 months. But that's a night where Crosby and Malkin were pretty much neutralized. They had to go to the depth scoring. It's good in a way, but is it for real? When playoffs come around, can they rely on that kind of a recipe?
Well, I think that remains to be seen. I don't know that there's any way to answer that. All I can say is the more you see of it in the regular season, I think the more you can hope that you'll get it in the playoffs as well. It's it's early November. I can't predict what's going to happen in April, but I think it's an encouraging sign. Minnesota's a good defensive team. They didn't play as physical as they usually do last night. Kept Crosby off if you look at the Penguins, I believe in their 3 losses, Sid has 1 point, or their 2 losses and 1 overtime loss. You keep him off the score sheet, and they won without it. He got a cheap assist on the empty net goal. So, I need to see more of that than once every 10 games, though. You know what I mean? Sure. I still think they're being carried by Sid and Gino in the power play.
No Fleury, no Mata, no problem. The Penguins 30 straight kills on the penalty kill, on the PK side of it. And the power play, of course, white hot, number 1 in the league. 8-2-1 to start the year. We're talking about the Penguins for many, many months right here at TribLive.com.